Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Motivators Table. Good morning. I'm your boy here, Dr. McIntyre, the Hood Motivator, and we got a huge episode right here with Brother Carr. Huge, but hey, listen, thank you again, Los Angeles Tribune, for giving me just the opportunity to be on your platform and opportunity just to podcast in a positivity light. Thank you, Riverview, for just Riverside, just giving me the platform, and I appreciate to all my sponsors. But I told you, motivators, get your highlighters and pens ready. I don't bring nobody on my podcast that I'm not inspired by. I got a huge guest today. I got Brother Tellis Carr. How you doing, brother? How's everything?
Hey, I'm doing good, Dr. McIntyre. I appreciate you, and thank you for having me on your show.
Nah, it's all good, man. I appreciate you. Everything you're doing in the community, I'm inspired by you. I look up to you. I'm proud of you. So I wanted to bring you on here for just a good segment, just to introduce my motivators to you and you to my motivators, and even your followers to me and my followers to you, and show people where I get my pedigree from and what I be seeing, what I be watching and everything like that. It's my contribution of what I can do back to one of the greatest fraternities in the world. And you know what I'm saying? You lead that front here in Tampa. So I want you to tell the world who you are and where you come from.
So we have a saying at Alabama A&M University. I started at Alabama A&M University in 1993 and then to 1998. And we have a thing to start here, go anywhere. So I was commissioned in the United States Army from Alabama A&M University in 1998. Spent 24 years in the military, traveling from different locations, assignments, posts, and base, etc. And my background was in medical logistics. After retiring from the military, 24 years, I then matriculated into a transition to doing the same thing that I did while I was on active duty. I did medical logistics and did that for about 2 years. And I said, okay, hey, what do we do, or what do we want to do when we really grow up? And still, I guess, still searching what I really want to do when I grow up. But what I have at least found what I do want to do when I grow up is that I have decided that I am going to, right now working on my credentials for financial advising. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to be able to have an impact in people's lives and people's lives that have impacted me, and those also that military community. So that's why I have now opted to be in the world of financial advising, so that I can have an impact for the military community and those that are serving and have served and continue to serve.
Man, thank you for everything you do, and thank you for your service and everything that you've done in the military. And you know what I'm saying, thank you to our fallen brothers and sisters that provided, their the ultimate sacrifice. And we appreciate you just coming on my platform and telling everybody who you from, where you from. But right now we're gonna get back to before that. Let's tell everybody how you grew up. Let's talk about that, your early childhood experiences.
So my early childhood experiences were great. I mean, I used to, it wasn't traditional. I mean, we all experience death in our early childhood or in our life. Experienced death firsthand when my mom passed. My mom passed when I was 5. And as a result of my mom passing, I ended up having to move and staying with my sister. And so I really didn't have much of a relationship with my father, because then my father died when I was 10. After that, and as far as my early childhood and adolescent years, then like I said, grew up pretty much normal as any other kid. I played football. I ran track. I wrestled in high school. And then once I graduated from Princeton High School in Cincinnati, Ohio, and then, like I said, I went to Alabama A&M University, where I majored in biology and minored in math and military science.
Okay. So you see their motivators. You see I'm walking them up on this target. You know what I'm saying? Just making sure you guys understand, like, just the pedigree of, the type of people I bring on my platform. And, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm very inspired by his story and what he had been through and what he done after that. So let's talk about your high school years, what you did in high school and everything like that.
Sure. So like I said, I started each year in high school from 9th grade to my senior year in high school. I was in sports, and of course, during the fall it was football, and then during the winter time, I was wrestling, and then during the springtime, I was running track.
Okay.
So that was, that was pretty much my life. From, like I said, from ninth grade to 12th grade, it was doing sports while I was in high school.
Okay. Yeah, and I like that because a lot of us grew up doing that, and first of all, condolences to your parents that you lost, and how you transitioned from that adversity. And I never knew that story, even not even spoke to you in that way like that. So that's just hearing that touches me because I also lost a mom earlier in my years as a young man. You know what I'm saying? And that I know when I lost my mother, I didn't know how much it would affect me as a grown man growing up and trying to find that void of that mother. But you lost both parents, and you transition that into sports and trying to ignore. But at the end of the day, as kids, losing parent or parents is very hard. And I remember when I lost my mom, I didn't even want to talk about it. I thought I was the only one that lost a mom until I found out, like probably about a month later, that one of my homies in elementary school, he had lost his mom. So we found something in common because we didn't have mothers, and I sometimes growing up as men, we deal with that situation as losing our mom and not trying to understand. But luckily in my life, I had a good grandmother that tried to fill that void, and a couple of aunties that showed me situations of how positive women was. Because my mother, she was doing a lot of crazy things when she was on this earth, but I still love her to death. I still acknowledge her. I still give her flowers. But losing a mom and losing a dad, I know that had to be hard for you. Can you talk about that experience as a child, that when you lost your parents, how did that make you feel?
I mean, and like I said, it was tough. I mean, like I said, no child. I mean, you're not gonna get me on the show here. I'm telling you. But I get a little sweat in my eyes. But I mean, it was tough. And then on top of that, just experiencing death firsthand,
Right,
at an early age.
right, right,
And I say that because my mom got sick, and my sister came home to stay with us for a while and help take care of her. And so it was, my sister. I tell the story. She says, "Oh man, I'm surprised you remember that." I know, but I was the one that discovered my mom that she had passed, and I was, when my sister was home taking care of her and taking care of me, she said, "Hey, go ask mom if she wants something to eat." And I went in there and tried to wake her up. I thought I was trying to wake her up, and then asked her if she wanted something to eat. And I went back to my sister and said, "Hey, I can't wake up mom." And she's like, "I'll go back in there and try again." Out there about the second or third time, I think I missed the third time. My sister went in there, and then you know again, I didn't know that she wasn't alive. Being 5 years old, I just thought, okay, hey, mom's still sleeping or something. So when my sister went in and checked on her, and at that time, we lived in a small town, Ethelsville, Alabama. So we didn't have a phone at the time. So I just remember us having to run down the street to a neighbor's house in order to be able to call the ambulance. I remember then, the them rolling my mom out at the time as far on a gurney, and it was a misty day. So I mean, and that was that right there, and like you said, about adversity and dealing with that, and then for a while, I remember the funeral and just being too short, too little, and then look at the casket, and after being lifted up to look at the casket to see my mom in the casket, and for first couple of years, I dealt with again at that time. I didn't know what post traumatic stress was, but dealing with post traumatic stress then is that I didn't like going to this. I me seeing a cemetery, and I like I said, it was traumatic. Just every time I saw a cemetery from that time on, it was just started as I started getting older, and became able to deal with it more and better. But that's how so like I said, from at least from 5 to 7, 5 to 8, and then when my dad passed, I didn't have a relationship with him, and because I only saw him like saw him 3 times after my mom passed. I ended up staying with my sister for a couple of years, and her husband was in the Navy, and we moved around for a while he was in the military. And then ended up staying with my aunt when I was about the second or third grade in Cincinnati, Ohio. And from there is where I continued to grow up and, attend junior high school and elementary, then junior high school, then high school. Other than, like I said, other than, the death of my mom and the death of my dad, for the most part, like I said, I was blessed. I was blessed to have I feel a normal childhood just as much as any other child. And so, definitely, it made me grow up, I guess, a little bit faster than others, and having to deal with that.
And that's why I want to touch on it. That's what we do on the motivators table, because where do the motivators go get motivated, right? We're the healers. You're definitely an inspiring gentleman, and I see what you're doing out there in the community. But before that, where did you go? So that's why we hit on that, and that's why I touch on that, because everybody has a story, and I allow people to come on here and tell their story. Before, you see the glory, you see what I'm doing now, but you don't see how hard I fought to get to where I'm at now.
Right.
And that's what you're doing, and I want to make sure the motivators, y'all get y'all highlighters and pens ready. You give this man his flowers, because before, what you see now is the story he's walking upon now. So, after that, losing parents, I know that had to be hard. And then after high school, you went straight into college. Let's talk about your college years.
So when I went into college, again, went to college as a walk-on, played football in college, and then also as a on track. So I did that as well, and then while I was my freshman year, majored in biology and I minored in math, and just figured out, okay, hey, what I want to do, and how is my life going to be shaped after I graduate, and so was joined in the ROTC program department, and did that. And I guess it was about my sophomore year in college. I decided I wanted to join a organization, and of course that organization being Phi Beta Sigma, but to give back, and it was about service. Our school, Alabama A&M, is it's motto as far as Phi Beta Sigma. Both have service in them: culture of service for humanity. And then my alma mater, Alabama A&M, is service with sovereignty. And so it's always been about service for me. And even to this day, it's still about service. How much can I give back? Just tomorrow, I'll be a coach for veterans that are transitioning 4 block. So, and it's about paying things forward. Somebody was there for me, and how can I continue to be there for others? And that's my motivation. That's my drive. Is just being there for other people. And like you said, is that we all have a story. We all have a testimony. And being able to, if I can motivate somebody else and help somebody else through my story and through my testimony, then that's a win for me. That's what success looks like for me.
Definitely. And I love that, because that's what, if you guys understand, service is huge. A lot of people, they hashtag service, but they're really not doing it. Brother Carr's out here in these communities, and he's giving the service that he's actually doing. He's not just talking about it or hashtagging it. He's all over giving his service back to his situation. And also, we don't want to overlook that he joined the greatest fraternity in the world in college. I joined a lot later, but these are one of the guys that joined and shined that light and allowed me to see everything that Phi Beta Sigma was doing in the community, what I'm saying, as part of service, what I'm saying. So I appreciate you. So let's talk about joining the fraternity. How was it, joining the fraternity, and what kind of man did it make you?
Well, let's see. As far as joining the fraternity, and our during the time when we were still pledging, and that time, but other than that, it made me a better person. Like I said, and again, just looking at, not looking just at me, but also looking at my why and finding that why, and that's what it allowed me to do as far as find that why. And again, that part of that why is giving back, and the service. is what was important and still is important to me. So that's how it has continued to shape me to be the man that I am today, to be the husband, be the father, etc. That I am today, and being able to give back.
Definitely, and I love that too. So let's talk about now. Fast forward after college, and what prompted you to join the United States Army?
So what prompted me to join the United States Army, it was just again it's an opportunity to serve. It all centers around service, and again it was like, okay, hey, I wasn't also what looking at what can the Army do for me, what and it can make a better life. It made a better life for me. It made a better life for my family. Um, so in looking at the education and things that I received or I got from those were the things that prompted me to join the Army. And I always tell everybody, I always tell people, it's like like I would do it again. And that was 24 years that were great. 24 years in the Army. Like I said, I tell people, you know, daily, or I would tell you, I would do it again, and without any reservations about doing it again.
I love that. How many years did you do in the military?
24 years.
24.
It went by, like I said, it went by in a blink of an eye. Sometimes say that people say that the years are long or the months are long, but the years are fast and minutes are long. Yeah, but that's how I see it. Like, sometimes our days and months are seem long, but then our years go by fast, and those years definitely went by fast.
Definitely. What all did you do in the military? Let's talk about that. Our motivators want to hear, our service and stuff like that. You don't have to dig deep, but just give us a little synopsis of what you did in the military.
Sure. And knowing that and finding out that why. So it was what was I gonna do that have impact? And then for me, it's been a medical logistics officer. As a medical logistics officer, I was responsible for ensuring that the doctors, nurses, or any healthcare provider had the supplies and the equipment was ready and it to perform the services that they needed to perform that direct patient care. So that's what I did in the military. I made sure that those supplies and equipment was ready for the doctors, like I said, the healthcare providers to be able to provide the care to our warfighters. And so that was what I did, and did that throughout my 24 years in the military.
Okay, I like that. Where all was you stationed at?
I was stationed at my first duty assignment I was stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and of course we went through Fort Bragg, Fort Libby, and now back to Fort Bragg. But that was my first duty assignment, and went through airborne school and jump master school, and after completing that, then I went to went to school a couple of times. Went to San Antonio, and then went to Georgia. I was assigned in Columbus, Georgia, Fort Benning, and then after completed an assignment at Fort Benning, I was then assigned to Vicenza, Italy. So, and after Vicenza, Italy, came back to Fort Bragg, and spent about 4 years again at Fort Bragg. And then after Fort Bragg, I went to DC, where then the DC area is where I finally retired in the DC area.
Good. Like I said, thank you for your service, and you've been all over the world and traveling. And I know Vicenza is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I've been out there before, so that's very beautiful post. And I know you had a good time just seeing the history out there in Italy and everything like that. And shout out to Bragg. Everybody know about Fort Bragg. You know what I'm saying? Home of the airborne. So we know about that. So we appreciate it, man. And that's why I want to bring you on, so people can just hear your story and everything. They see you as what you're doing now, like I said, but they don't see how hard you fought to get to who you are right now, especially as a man and as a Black man, putting that information out there and doing it. And it's Black History Month. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I think we shouldn't even get a month. We should get like a whole year, because there's so many great people that we don't know, that we don't mention, that we don't acknowledge. And I wanted to take the time to acknowledge you before the month was over, and make sure we gave you your flowers and let everybody know, hey, listen, this is a gentleman that is at the highest form of his pinnacle. He's doing it. He's a family man. You know what I'm saying? He's a realtor. He's a financial advisor. He did medical. He's doing a lot. He's giving back to transitional veterans. I do that also. I speak at a Seven Eagle Transitional Veteran Company and Allegiant Vets and Vets to Project to PM, something like that. So I speak to them, you know what I'm saying, that platform too. So it's very big for myself to give out service and then also hear you. That's what you do too. 4Block. I heard about 4Block Transitional Veteran Program. Can you talk about that?
So again, it's a career readiness program. So what they do is that they go out in the community as far as different businesses and allow veterans that are in the transition stage to start preparing themselves to get ready for their next life. And, going from we say from green to civilian. So in that program, what they do is that they help you prepare your resume. They help you prepare your elevator pitch, and get your LinkedIn set up, and are some of the things that they help with while you are in the process of transition to make sure that you're not just getting the job, but you are you're ready for the workforce as a civilian.
I love that. I love. How long you been doing that for?
So this is my first time that as a coach. And, like I said, when I went through the program and been an alumni of the program, I knew then, like I said, I was going to give back. I was going to go back and be a coach with that. So this is, like I said, my first time being a coach, and looking forward to it.
Man, I love that. I love that you're giving back. I've been doing the motivational speeches and coaches to these transitional programs for about 6 months, and I tell you what, there is very monumental. I didn't have that program when I retired, so I didn't have the transitional program. I had to get out here and figure it out. But these guys that are getting in these programs 180 days out and transition them to put them in the right position and also pivot before they destruct, it's so good. You know what I'm saying? I sit here and I listen to the PowerPoints that they give, and I come on and I give my expertise in the veteran community about mental health and everything that we got going on. And that's why I wrote a lot of my books, so I can help these veterans get out their ruts and help them pivot the right way. And we appreciate you for doing that and giving back to the 4 Block. So shout out to them. Shout out to Seven Eagle. Shout out to Allegiant Vets, and shout out to Vets to PM. So we appreciate that. So now let's talk about what you're doing now in the future.
So in the future, like I said, I will continue to with financial advising and making sure that I'm helping veterans with that transition. As they transition, from that career, making sure that they are, they're meeting their financial goals and their needs, and helping veteran-owned businesses also with business solutions, making sure that they're looking at succession planning, any other employee whole life benefits, that are things that they can make sure that when they're no longer here, that they're making sure that they're taking care of their families and their loved ones. And like I said, this being, like you mentioned, Black History Month this month, and also this being February, it's also the month to ensure your loved ones. So just making sure that you're taking care of your loved ones, yourself, and in retirement as you're making that transition in life.
Okay. And how did you discover that you wanted to do financial advising and planning like that? Is that always been in your heart, or you just said, hey, there's a need for that in the veteran community?
Yeah, it was the need. I mean, and finding out, and again, also wanting to give back into the military community and the young community, just knowing that, okay, hey, we all get some advice, and we all get some bad advice, and just making sure that I can give people the decisions that they can make good informed decisions. And so that's how I got into it and got involved in it. I mean, I think it found me more than I found it.
Mm.
But as I get more involved in it, I see the results and the outcome of when I'm helping somebody, and knowing that, okay, hey, I have helped somebody, I've protected them, making sure they're protected. I'm showing them how that they can accumulate wealth, and then once they accumulate that wealth, and then how they can preserve that wealth. And so that is another thing that motivates me, and it makes me know that, okay, hey, I'm making an impact, and sharing some things that experience is the best teacher. Things that I experienced, things that I learned from. And do I have all the answers? No, I don't have all the answers. I don't think nobody has. There's only one person who has all answers and is all knowing, and that's the Almighty. And so, yeah. But I have a team of people that I work with, and with that team, we can make the best help. As you at the end of the day, it's your decision. I'm only going to be able to help you and give you the information to make the best decision.
Definitely. And we all need that. Growing even in our culture, we grew up. We didn't understand. I went bankrupt after COVID in my veteran company, and I didn't know a lot about business. I knew hustling, but I didn't know how to maintain a business. So when I went bankrupt, I went to go get my master's in business and continue with my doctorate, so I could come back and each one teach one. I could talk the language, and we don't talk about that enough. We know how to get the money, but we don't know how to maintain it, or we don't know how to position it to it, make sure that it can equate to generational wealth, right? So I think we're late to the party, understanding money, but I'm happy that you're teaching that and you're going around and you're giving it back. And you said one key word, impact. A lot of people are out here doing things for the likes and for just to go viral or to impress other people. And I'm only out here to impact. If I touch one and I hear that in you, if you just talk to one person that received that message, then you could sleep well that night. And that's how I am. If I talk to one person on my platform that said, "Hey, JayR, you touched my life. Thank you." I'm happy because I'm no longer at that stage where I want to impress anybody else. I just want to make sure I do what I got to do. First of all, thank God for just giving me the opportunity. And then second of all, just being out here, just everything we went through, just being out here, just to put it out there in a positive manner. Because all we see right now when we turn on our TV, open up our phone, social media, is all this negative rhetoric.
Negative. Yeah.
Why we can't have something positive? And when we do something positive, it's looked at like it might be whack. And it's like, and I deal with that sometimes, even with my age group and everybody. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna keep pushing this positive because it's very easy to self-destruct, but it's hard to stay on the straight and narrow and try to be positive, and especially in this culture that we live in the world. You know what I'm saying? And I see that you took your experiences from your life, military, and all that, and you continue to lead from the front. And that's very inspiring. So, I see you do real estate. I see you doing financial. I see you helping out with the veterans. And also, let's talk about, what I'm saying, I see you at the head of the pack with the Tampa chapter of Phi Beta Sigma. Let's talk about that.
So yeah, thanks, and I appreciate all that you're doing as well. And like I said, helping us get the word out and helping other people spread the. I never been one big on recognition. Is that my work is my voice, and that's how I look at things as far as my work being my voice, and my actions, and actions speak. Like they say, actions speak louder than words. So, so just being it's always I can do more. I always look at myself first, as far as they always say that if you're pointing your finger at somebody, you got three pointing back at yourself. So I always look at it as, okay, how can I do something differently? How can I do something better? And that I guess, led me to, being in another an exec board or leadership role for the fraternity. And like I said, just giving back. What more can I do? And that's why, I accepted the nomination to be the first vice president for the chapter. And again, it's just something that I enjoy doing. It's not work for me. And because, like I say, it's that if you're doing something that you enjoy, it's not work. And so it is work, but it's not work because I do enjoy giving back and being there for brothers and making sure that we are doing the things that our principles are founded on for brotherhood, scholarship, and service. And so I look for those opportunities where I can continue to give back and help the community, and then also help my brothers.
Definitely. And like I said, we see it. I see it. Everybody sees it, that, what I'm saying, you always giving back, always pushing your best foot forward, always trying to inspire the younger generation, always trying to inspire even your peers. And I see that, and I know that every time I get around you, your energy is always the same, and we appreciate it, everything that you're doing and continue to do, So I want to ask you just a few questions about, last summer we had the conclave. How did you feel about that? Like, tell us about your experiences about the Phi Beta Sigma conclave. That was my first conclave, so I was very impressed. I saw a lot. We did a lot. I watched our chapter thrive. It was here in Tampa, and I was so proud to say I was part of the chapter, you know what I'm saying, out here. So let's talk about the conclave.
Yeah, so the conclave is where we do our business. We, this past conclave, we elected our new international president, and we find out that what's the next vision and direction of the fraternity. So that's where the rubber meets the road, as you can say, as far as the conclave, doing the business of the fraternity, because it's with anything in life, it's a business, and yes, we are a nonprofit organization, but our business, like I said, is about scholarship and it's about service. So how are we continue to grow that to where we are impacting more lives and being able to provide scholarships and service? And some of those programs that we have, as far as our bigger, better business, our Sigma Beta Club, our social action, and then those are things there again is where we can give back to the community, and that's all what the conclave is about is looking at those opportunities where we can continue to grow. And in the end, like I said, is that it's a strategic meeting, and we also you look at your weaknesses there too. You also got to look at your opportunities, and then you look at any type of threats that are going to be affecting the organization.
I love that. I love to see that. I love just the whole week of information that was put out. Right. It was very, I took a lot of notes. I was there every day, interviewing people all over the world. That was Phi Beta Sigmas, even some Zetas. So shout out to our sisters. Just being in the mix, just understanding the true heritage and the true history of the, Phi Beta Sigma and where we come from, and knowing all the historical men, George Washington Carver that came, like all these historical men that I heard about growing up. Now, I didn't even know they were Sigma men. So I was very impressed just to see that, hear that. And, my mentor, shout out to Mr. Ali Broswell, that he was the one that brought me to the frat. And I'm forever grateful because I got to meet some great people, great personalities, great men, you know what I'm saying, in our fraternity, and me being at my age coming in a little later, but just understanding who I am and the value that the frat brings to me and the value I bring to the fraternity. And I was happy to get set down by my mentor, because sometimes it's confusing as being me, because I travel a lot. I'm all over the place, and I feel like I'm not giving enough. But my mentor, he told me, he said, when I found you, I knew the value that you was going to bring to the fraternity, and now the fraternity has to understand the value that you're going out. And now, when I'm on every stage, I don't know if you see it, I rock the colors everywhere I go, and I mention Tampa everywhere I go. I was just in DC last week, met a good group of brothers, took some pictures with them, told them who I was, and ironically, they knew about me, and it just made me happy because everywhere you go, you'll meet a Sigma man, period. And I was in DC, and it was like 7 of us, and they just wrapped their arms around me and told me, you know what I'm saying, that they were proud of me and saw what I was doing. And they were older, and it made me feel happy because even I get to touch that generation and what I'm doing. And I would tell brothers that are out there that if you don't understand, if you don't feel like you're giving back in your craft that you're doing now, you can do that wherever you at in this world. I travel all over the world. I'm going to speak in London in a couple of days, and best believe, I'll be wearing my colors and let the world know
Right. Right.
about Phi Beta Sigma and the type of man I am. And I'm proud to be, even interviewing you. It gives me chills because I told you a few times I wanted to get you on here, and now that I got you on here, and let the world know and my people know, hey, this is where I come from. This is my pedigree as a grown man. This is what I hear. This is what I listen to. It's not just me. It's a bunch of us. So now people think, oh, it's a lot of us that's right here. This is what we doing. So I appreciate you so much. And before we get off the air, I just want you to share with my community just a few words of inspiration and motivation that you can give us. I know you was a commander, you was a colonel. I know that. So let's hear you give us one of them just fiery, motivational, inspirational one and a half, 2 minute speeches. Just give us something that you can give back, because the youth is listening to you right now. You know what I'm saying? You never know who you will impact. So, let's give it to them real quick.
Sure, and just as each day, is an opportunity to start over from it's a 0-0 day. So each day, so you can look back. You don't have to look back in your rearview mirror, but look forward to look and say, okay, hey, okay, what happened in the review is behind me, but I'm looking forward. This is 0-0, and let's see what the score is today, and let's win the day. Just think about it each day that you wake up. How can I win the day?
And let's win the day. Hey, I told you guys, have your highlighters and pens ready. Basic. Let's win the day. Small steps every day. Keep moving forward. Stay consistent. I tell people all the time, I said, I'm not the smartest. I'm not the biggest. I'm not the strongest. I'm not the tallest. But I'm consistent. And every day, I'm going to attack at the same level until you get sick and tired of me and you just give up. And that's just exactly what I do. And I appreciate you so much. But this is a segment right here that we take the time right here to give you, I know you say you don't like it, but to give you, you know what I'm saying, your flowers and pour into you. So this segment is called Pour Into Me. So what I want you to do is hold your cup up. It's a just hold an empty cup up your hand. Hold a cup up, pour it out. I don't want nothing in that cup. And then I'm gonna pour into you. I want to tell you right now on this platform, on my platform, that I'm inspired. I'm proud of you and I love you and thank you. Without words, you don't say a lot of words. I see your sternness. I see you. Just know I see you and I appreciate you. And I want to tell you that everything that you're doing right now for the community, for your family, for your kids, for your wife, for your friends, for everybody that you inspire, we here at the Motivators Table, we appreciate you. We love you. Do not stop. When you get weak, you know that you can call me. You can tap in. I do that. This is who I am. Motivational speaker, life coach. I'm just trying to change the trajectory of how we see things. But you are dynamic. You, from the moment I met you to the moment now, have changed my life humongously. You don't even know it because I watch everybody, and I know who I want to talk to and I know who I don't want to talk to. I know who I want to get advice from and I know who I don't want to get advice from. And I know I definitely, when you talk, I listen. A lot of people I don't listen to because it's like you're being redundant. I listen to what you got going on, and also I watch your actions. And what's crazy was I met a young lady that I think you was her boss at the VA or something like that. And they was like, yeah, Carr was very stern. I said, yeah, he don't play that. I said, at the end of the day, you got to understand the pedigree he came from. I said, but when he comes to do a job, you're gonna make sure he get it done. I didn't know what job you did in the VA, but they said, I guess you had a job in the VA a while ago. Some of the young ladies was like, yeah, he was tough. I said, yeah, what do you think he gonna be? You know what I'm saying? That's my frat brother. That's somebody I look up to. So at the end of the day, don't play with us. But at the end of the day, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you again. And I can't wait to see what the future has. And thank you for just allowing me to be who I am. I know sometimes I feel sometimes I'm very difficult because of my pedigree and who I am. But thank you for allowing me just to be there and take notes and pour into you right now, because I feel a lot of men of your stature, we don't tell each other that. It's hard to hear that, or we don't receive it. I want you to receive it. Thank you so much for just allowing me just to pour back into you. And thank you for coming on the Motivators Table right here, because where do the motivators go get motivated? That's the question. Where do the healers, where do the people that inspire people go get inspired? I want you to sit down at the Motivators Table. And when you leave the Motivators Table, I want you to leave here and run through a brick wall and have a little bit more motivation and inspiration to go out there and do your job and actually help and do what we got going on. I know right now we have a spring line going on, and I know you guys doing the process right now. So, I appreciate you. Thank you for everything. Your work is not going unnoticed. And we're going to give you your flowers, because guess what? I'm not going to be the one to say, hey, I didn't tell him thank you. Thank you for inspiring me. And at the end of the day, motivators, I told you we had a huge guest, and thank you guys for tuning in. And I can't wait to have you guys on season 6. The Motivators Table. Boom.
Welcome to Seven Eagle Academy, your proven skill bridge pathway to a career you'll love. Every day, join hundreds of fellow vets on live Zoom sessions to learn directly from hiring managers, industry experts, and executives looking for top military talent. We'll help you master your resume, networking, and interviews to connect you with careers in tech, healthcare, aviation, sports, and more. This is your tribe, your support system, your advantage. It's free, it's proven, it's life-changing. Your next mission starts now at www.7eagle.com.
God has you in this room for a specific reason and specific timing. And the reason why we're doing that is shifting. And we're catching the vision, right? Are we catching the vision? Now I'm about to activate your gift.